Alberta's been pushed to the edge, like been literally pushed to the edge, and the separatist movement in this province is at an all-time high. Like we started the process of collecting signatures for the petition now. So we need to, all the bullshit with the chief electoral officer sending the question to the courts and whatever, that's all been resolved. So now we have the petition, the process of collecting 177,000 signatures so that we can demand a referendum on separation started yesterday. And I'm happy to say I was at the event yesterday. It was in a very small town. We were in Water Valley, which is in the shadows of the Rockies. It's like an hour north of my place, and just a little farming community of 200 people. We had 350 people show up at the town hall yesterday, and it was the first time that people had the opportunity to sign a petition because we had official canvassers there. Jeff Rath was the first guy to sign. We gave him that privilege, and that was awesome. And then a whole bunch of us after that stood in line. My whole family was there with me. So I'm one of the first 200 Albertans to sign the petition yesterday. So
that's awesome.
We got this thing. To be honest, I'll be surprised if we have a referendum. I'm worried that the politicians, even Danielle, might play some games on us. I might, I'm still fingers crossed, but at the very least, our goal now is to collect at least 500,000 signatures and at least send a signal to somebody that, hey man, we're pissed off. We're pissed off. We're tired of working our asses off and then sending $13 billion to Quebec. We're just done. So Quebec, you're like in that, and that's a weird thing that I've had experience a lot more, and it's going to just get worse in the coming months. There's a huge backlash, man. I get called a traitor every day now. Every day I get called a traitor, but it's somebody from Quebec usually, or some part of Ontario, and they're pissed off that we want to leave. And I'm like, well, you're calling me a traitor. Would you call the abused wife who wants to leave her abusive husband, a traitor because she's unhappy and she wants a better life? So why are you calling me a traitor? You don't want me to leave Alberta? You should have thought about that. Or you don't want Alberta to leave Canada? You should have thought about that a long time ago.
Well, wouldn't the traitor be the one that treats their fellow citizens so badly that they would want to leave?
Yes. That's my way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't want me to leave, then you should have asked me why I'm unhappy and maybe try to resolve it. But you didn't. Like, all they wanted to do was take our money and now
they want to insult you.
So no, anyways, now they insult. Anyways, I just want to keep it positive. It was really cool. And I didn't know that. Like, I go to different APP events, Alberta Prosperity events, just because, right? And the one in Water Valley happened to be close to me. It's like basically in my backyard. So, and it was Monday night. So I thought, let's go to the one in Water Valley. The local pub there is fun anyway. So I wanted to go have lunch before and it was a surprise when they said, yeah, we have our first canvasser here officially and we can collect signatures. So I thought that was a cool coincidence because I could have easily missed that one. Yeah.
So I had an interesting exchange with JJ McCullough. Yeah, I'm sure you know who he is, another YouTuber. And he was saying stuff in his tweet where he said, Alberta Prosperity is a bunch of nobodies and they're just like one guy with a cowboy hat. What is this for this thing? And so I replied to him. It was the first time I ever had an exchange with him. But I said, like, I assure you, like, I don't think you're being serious here. I assure you, like, if you look into it, it's actually quite a big movement. Like, there's a lot of people, and it's not just one guy with a cowboy hat, even though perhaps from your perspective, Vancouverite that never looks into Alberta issues, only cares about Vancouver and Ottawa, basically. Perhaps that's why you only see it that way. But I guarantee you at a certain point when this becomes a national issue, because everyone wants to kind of like belittle it and ignore it and say things like that, like, oh, it's just one guy with a cowboy hat and, that kind of thing. But once it becomes a national issue, you'll know all the people involved. You'll see all the speakers and all the people that are coming forward to represent this on a national stage and say, yeah, we're fed up. We're going. And we're gonna do it unilaterally with or without you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I replied to JJ on Twitter several times and on his YouTube channel, and I kind of extended it out to him. I said, like, hey, dude, come to Alberta and I'll take you to some of these events and I'll introduce you to the people and I'll show you what's going on, right? Then he texted back, but he didn't accept the offer. But I'm kind of feeding him stuff constantly now. You know, I don't think he knows that I'm doing it on purpose, but like, yeah, I did it today. I mean, you know, there's an event in Didsbury tonight and there's 700 people at the event. So sorry, dude, but like, it's real, right?
That's
like
an issue. That's the thing. If 700 people are taking time off work and going out to an event or that kind of thing, taking time out of their day, that's going to be how many people didn't have the time to do it or couldn't take time off work or whatever. It means the
event yesterday was an example. Like, you know, the typical Alberta Prosperity event is an MC who's a local person introduces Jeff Rath. Jeff speaks first, and then we introduce Mitch Sylvester, and then Mitch goes into a lot more details. And then sometimes there's a third speaker. Well, yesterday Jeff talks and he says, like, yeah, we have the canvasser here, and boy, boom! As soon as he pointed the table where you could sign for sign the petition, everybody got up from their chair and walked over there. Poor Mitch. He's like, you guys don't even want to listen to me, and everybody's basically, Mitch, we've already made our minds, man. Like, keep talking. But everybody got up and went and signed. We collected 200 signatures just like that. Like, everybody in the audience signed. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting year in Alberta and in Canadian politics. I mean, let's get back to Canadian politics in a second.
Well, but not to beat the same drum, but what's come out of that exchange was a new understanding of, because I knew that people were trying to belittle the movement. And by the way, for people who are just tuning in, don't know my stance on this, I'm from an outside perspective. I'm from British Columbia. I'm moving to Texas. I have no skin in the game, whether Alberta separates or stays. I just, as a liberty-oriented individual, I want to see Alberta be independent and successful on their own. I'm an advocate in that way. So I'm watching this, and I'm watching people belittle the movement and say these things or be rude to people. But then when I saw JJ do that, it opened my eyes. Like, people genuinely don't know. It's not that that they see it and they're making fun of it. It's they literally can't see it. Our media is doing a terrible job at representing what Canadians actually feel in Canada, and people genuinely don't know what's happening in this country.
Which is why
travesty. That's actually awful. That is really to say to the media, holy crap, you've done such a terrible job. People don't even know what's happening in your own country.
Good point. Exactly. And I saw JJ's comments, and I gave him the credit, the benefit of the doubt, because I do have pretty strong respect for the guy. I mean, I love the work he's done. So I do. So yes, I saw his initial comment as, I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I said, you're just naive. I didn't see his comment as any kind of attack or anything like that. I just saw it as naive. And to your point, he is perhaps naive because there's not a lot of positive talk about it. People will have to talk about this. The media will have to. It'll be interesting. I don't think the media will spin this in any objective way. They'll literally keep spinning it as, when they do finally start talking more about it, they'll talk about it as a bunch of people who are traitors to Canada. But I keep emphasizing, it's in our Constitution. It is illegal. There's a framework. There's the Clarity Act. There's the Referendum Act. There's a whole shit ton of acts that make it perfectly legal for citizens of any province to get together and say, we've had enough and we want to force a discussion on separation. So what we're doing in Alberta is not illegal, is not treacherous, it's not seditious. It's completely 100% legal. And so people are going to have to deal with it. And by the way, there's a huge, trust me, by the end of this year, the separatist movement in Quebec will be on fire again. They're going to elect the Parti Québécois, and the APP has a sister organization now. The Saskatchewan Prosperity Project is off and running too. So Saskatchewan is doing its own thing. So Carney's got a mess on his hands. Like, he's got a... what's Carney
might be the last Prime Minister of Canada. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more clips like that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. The link is right here. If you want to see it live as it happens, make sure you subscribe to the Clyde Do Something YouTube channel. The link is right there. We'll see you in the next one.